Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. So today, something exciting and new and something I've not seen before. It's the Trumpeter Fairey Barracuda, the naval sort of attack ship, an anti-ship attack aircraft I should say. And it's very kindly loaned to the channel by Neil from Creative Time Wasting. So I think there's a fair chance it'll probably get built, this kit. Now, elephant in the room, I better get this out of the way at the beginning. I am not the biggest Trumpeter fan, I have to say. There has been one or two kits that have been very good, like the Stuka. There was also, and I forgot the name of it, that Russian, the like transporter, multi-wheel transporter truck. That was actually quite good, but there's also been some absolute dogs, and there are many of them, let's face it. The Lightning, the Bear, not great kits. Anyway, let's try and keep an open mind, because they are capable of good kits, so it's best to approach them. You know, I've had two or three bad ones, two or three good ones, so let's just give them a chance. Try and put any preconceptions to one side. So, 48 scale, kit number, do we have a number? 05825. Now, interestingly, on the side we have got some great artwork, obviously, on a torpedo bombing run. Of course, these were used in the sort of European theatre operations in the North Sea and the North Atlantic, and they were used in the Far East as well. Excuse me. On the side, we've got some interesting 3D renders. It's a strange looking plane. It looks like, to me, it almost looks like it has the front of a Typhoon stroke Tempest, and then a much bigger aircraft further back. It looks a bit underpowered. I think that was probably one of the issues it did have, but of course it was able to carry good payload, and it was with the folding wings. You got the option of folding them back, as you can see. That's cool. Yeah, and it says on the side, the Fairey Barracuda was a British carrier-borne torpedo and dive bomber designed by Fairey Aviation. It was the first aircraft of this type operated by the Royal Navy's Fleet Air Arm, FAA, to be fabricated entirely from metal. Okay. The Barracuda was developed as a replacement for the Fairey Albacore biplanes, which were... Swordfish was probably better than the Albacore, I mean. First flight, 7th of December 1940, so it's quite, yeah, it was quite, you know, the war was already well on at this point. And produced 1941 to 1945, they built 2,602. On the side we have got three options. One based on HMS Victorious, May of 1944. We've got one at HMS Illustrious, April 44. And HMS Formidable in August of 44. But it looks like we've got a bit of photo etch, etc. So it looks like it might be quite an interesting kit. So why don't we have a look at this then? And in fact, whoops, I'll just say again, thank you to Neil once again for the loan of the kit. I think he was probably thinking, oh, I might be able to change your perception on Trumpeter. Well, I'm saying, I'm kind of middling about them now. I don't think they're as consistent as someone like Airfix or Revell. Well, consistently bad in the case of Revell's instructions and Airfix's product quality, consistency, but anyway, but just overall, I've always felt that they weren't really that great. Anyway, we'll see what we've got. So let's go. Ooh, looks like we've got a mask set. That's good. Big packet of sprues and the paint guide. Ooh, looks quite good. It's promising. This is promising. First impressions on opening the box are quite positive, in fairness. So, what have we got? Let's just get this out of the way, because this is an aircraft that you definitely need a mask set for, so thank God they've actually provided it for us. And I did check very carefully just a few seconds before I started the video. I won't show it now because I don't want to damage them, but they are, in fact, yes, they are die cut for you. So you just pop them off, and there's a lot of them, isn't there? Imagine trying to do that yourself. No way, you know? I mean, that's a hell of a glass house, isn't it? I wonder why they felt they needed that much glass on an aircraft like that. What was the crew on this? It doesn't mention data like that, unfortunately. I think it had a crew of 3, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? It seems to show, it looks like 3 guys in the box art. I think they had a pilot, navigator, and basically a torpedo armour and I think he was a rear gunner. Was he a rear gunner? I'm not sure. Just like a little bit more info. It's a bit, you know, Trumpeter have given a little bit of info, but not quite enough. You know, how fast did it go? What was its weight? No, we don't know. Bit disappointing. So here is the instructions, which again you'd think that would be the opportunity for them to put some little bit of technical data about the thing, but it doesn't. Anyway, sprue map, and then we get started here with your instructions. So we're going to build up the pilot seat. He's got control stick. We've got some PE. Looks like it's PE. Yes, indeed it is. PE seat belts. Actually look quite nice, don't they? Actually, yes, those are actually rather spiffy. Let's just look at those, and then we'll put them to one side. Yeah, those are all right, aren't they? Nice, actually. Yes, very good. Quite thick. It's a bit like Tamiya's PE. This, to be fair. Bit on the thick side, I'd say. Also, we'll have a quick butcher. I'm jumping around here, but we'll just have a quick butchers at the decals as well, and then we can put these delicate things to one side. Nice set of decals. A little bit of blotchiness. That's a bit of transfer actually from the paper, I feel. Don't know if you can see that. I think that's a little bit of tissue transfer on the surface from the paper. Can you see it? Yeah. Yeah, you can see it there, can't you? Well, they're nicely printed, nicely sharp. The colours look good. Plenty of instruments. Oh, loads of instruments on this, aren't there? Gosh. The thing is, navigation's a big issue with these aircraft because they often flew for hours and hours over water with no sight of land or other ships. So I suppose radio equipment and navigation equipment probably quite a big thing. So we'll put them to one side. You bear with me 1 second, and we'll get back into the instructions. Here we go. So, as I say, building up all your main seat for the pilot, and then you've got your sort of cockpits around where the pilot sits, including the instruments. This is where some of those decals come in. Are they giving us any? Yes, they are. They're not doing too badly here. They're giving us some information, not like border. They're giving us some information about the paint colour, which is just unforgivable not to. It's just stupid. How on earth can you possibly build an accurate model when you've got to spend weeks and weeks and weeks researching it? That's their job. Yeah, that's what you're paying them to do. They can do it once instead of every single model in the whole world having to do it over and over again, which is just stupid. Anyway, but they're good, aren't they? They're doing that. Medium sea grey, for example. It says medium sea grey for that. It's not given a huge amount of detail for the rest of the colours. Medium sea green. Medium sea green. So it seems to be telling you medium sea green quite a lot, but it doesn't seem to be giving you hints about the other colours terribly well. How very strange. So I take it back. I think they've fouled up here. They're sort of they're mentioning one colour. So they were doing it here. Middle stone. Medium sea green. They're only just doing it occasionally. What about the other parts? There's no indication at all. I presume you just paint it all medium sea green or stone, you know. Anyway, could be clearer. Could be clearer. Anyway, you've got all your instruments and your radio gear going in there for the radio operator. He's got a seat that goes back to back on the back of the bulkhead with the pilot. Is there an access through there? No, there isn't. Is there a hatch? Does it climb through a hatch? Yeah, there seems to be like a hatch. So I think he can stick his head through. It's very strange setup, isn't it? Then you've got some windows going in here, and you've got the sides of the fuselage being built up internally. Front of where the engine, obviously you don't get an engine with the look of it, but the front where there's like a poly cap, and then sort of where your propeller and spinner are going to come out. Bit of internal painting there, medium sea green again. And over here we've got basically the exhaust, two intakes. Sorry, yeah, the intakes, isn't it? Intakes. I think one's for cooling and one's for the oil cooling. So like an intercooler and a radiator intake. And then you got your rudder going on here and your aerials. You've got your arrestor hook there as well. Over here. See that? Bring it a little bit closer. There we go. Arrestor hook. Very interesting. I mean, the layout's fairly straightforward. Oh, Oh my god. This is your glass house. Oh my god. 44 there are. 44 separate windows. It's like a Japanese thing, isn't it? One of the Japanese bombers. World War II bomber. Yes, that's going to take a little bit of time and care, so you need to be patient doing that, I think. And then you get your exhaust going on there. Why is it showing it twice? Showing it twice for some reason. I think it's showing the layout. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's showing the breakdown if you have the canopy slid back, I think. Interesting. Then you've got starting on your inner wing route, and obviously here we're going to have the also it's the tailplanes, and that's going to be fitted in there to the tail itself. Then you've got the wings themselves, and of course remember you can have these folded or out, entirely your choice. You've got your wheel wells going on there as well. Flaps, ailerons. It's got dive flaps as well. No, it's just the main flaps, isn't it? Folding flaps. Quite detailed actually. Quite detailed, isn't it? And same on the other. This will be the port wing. And then here you have the option. You either put them in straight or you have them folded back. It'd look quite cool folded back, wouldn't it? Or maybe. Quite handy for space in your cabinet if it's folded back, I think. Do you know what I mean? Classic naval aviation situation, isn't it? Then you've got your propeller and spinner, which does remind me of a Typhoon or a Tempest, I've got to say. And then you've got your the gear doors going in here. You've got supports for the tailplane going underneath. And then you're going to build up your wheels, main gear, and your tail wheel, plus the rest of those gear doors on the back of it. And then finally you're coming into your weapons section. So this is where we've got bombs. We've got an absolutely enormous torpedo. Doesn't tell us any detail about what bomb it is, weight wise, or what the torpedo is. It's like a fairly standard naval, World War II naval torpedo to me. Like they tried to sink the Tirpitz with. I think they did hit it with torpedoes, didn't they? Not, sorry, the Bismarck, I mean, sorry. Tirpitz was hit by tall boys from the Lancaster raid. And there you have it at the end. So you've got your wings out or folded on the deck position. It's got all this radar, antenna, gubbins. So as I said earlier, it's obviously got onboard radar for navigation and target finding. And then finally we have our paint guide, which is very nice. Here they seem to give us a bit more information. It's got quite a handy reference colour chart as well, showing you that you can have Mr. Hobby, Acrison, never heard of him, Vallejo, Model Master Tamiya or Humbrol. So that's quite useful to have that. And here is the camo patterns. Yeah, it looks nice, doesn't it, actually? HMS Victorious, that's in May, and then you've got Formidable in August 44, or the Illustrious in April 44. Excellent. Well, I think that by and large the instructions are pretty good. Just a bit of, it's just not complete, is it? It's got certain parts they're saying yes, it's such a colour, and then it doesn't tell you about any other parts. You know. So what are some of those controls and the stick and things like that? What are they supposed to be? Did it tell us? I don't think it did. No. It told you it was flat black at the top, but it doesn't tell you. It's just not like, you know, Tamiya or Airfix who tell you this is black and this is silver. It doesn't do that. It's so vague. They could be better. They're getting there. They're improving. Better than Border, I think, but not great. Anyway, let's have a look at what we got then. So, is this taped? Yes, it's taped. Let's have a look. No staples today. This is the clear part, so let's brace ourselves because we're not dealing with ICM here. What we're going to get, I dread to think. I just don't know. Let's have a look. Well, to be honest, yeah, it's pretty nice. Like I say, it's not quite ICM, but it's not bad at all. Have a look at this. Those are very decent, I'd say. They're sort of Airfix-like. bit of distortion, but it's quite curved, isn't it? So I wouldn't say it's excessive. Not a problem at all. No, I like that. That's very good. That's probably better than I was expecting. Very nice. Oh, you're going to have some fun with that masking, aren't you? Jeez. Why did they need to have so many small windows and such a lot of framing? It's a bit weird, isn't it, really? Not exactly a P51 Mustang bubble canopy, is it? And then over here we've got some more clear parts, all the others. And this is the, when you have the option of having them open, I think. Again, very nice actually. A little bit more distortion I think this time. But very good, very good. On a par with Revell Airfix, I'd say. Yeah, those are nice. Nothing wrong with any of that really. No, I wouldn't grumble about it. And I'm very fussy on clear parts, as you probably know. But they're pretty decent. Those are quite nice. Those windows are good. I was expecting it not to be that good, to be honest. Going quite well, this, isn't it, really, so far? So far, so good, and that's probably the trickiest thing of all. So, I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Famous last words. Remember on that bear, I was very unimpressed with the bear. It was covered in flash, wasn't it? Absolutely dreadful. And some very sort of moulded parts, and yeah, not nice. Let's put those back in there safely for Neil. There we go, that's it. Sorted. Well, that was very painless in the end, I'm delighted. Nothing worse than being a grouch about everything and having to moan because they've done a poor job. Nobody wants to be constantly moaning. It's just wearing. Let's have a look at the rest. So we've got a resealable bag here. Lots of screws, all in one bag. They're going to prefer it in separate bags, wouldn't they? Yeah, I mean, even ICM would have 2 bags, I think. But let's have a look at the plastics. So, oh, I've lost my light, that's unfortunate, it's gone flat. Let's zoom you in. I've got to tell you that this looks rather nice, actually. It does look excellent, in fact. Beautiful panel line details here, look at this. Yeah. Aha! Yeah, they've really got the riveting nice. It's recess rivets. Yeah, it's really subtle, it's nice. Reminds me a little bit of the ICM Hampden in that respect. It's kind of a similar approach, I think, the way they've gone about it. There's your rest hook. And you've got your ailerons, I think they are. Ailerons? Or is it the tail? Sure. Elevators, should be. Elevators, ailerons. Just a minute, just checking. As they say at Ferrari, we are checking. It is, I was right, it is ailerons actually, yeah. So that's the ailerons here. Again, they've got the sort of stretch skin effect. Very nice, aren't they? This is a nice, a really nice sprue actually. Pretty much flawless, that is. Excellent, that's very, very good. So that's the first one. Then we've got the wings, underside of the wings obviously. And again, a little bit, I say again, a bit reminiscent of the ICM Hampden. This beautiful recess rivets. Very nicely done actually, very subtly done. Looks very scale-like actually, that. Absolutely brilliant. Yes, I like it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Superb. And then the top version, top side I should say. A lot more riveting obviously. Feel it a little bit more. Some raised rivets here. Again, very beautiful. Plastic's good, I've got to say, the plastic's good. Now, onto the main fuselage. Same thing really, more subtle. This is recess riveting. It definitely does look like a Typhoon or Tempest at the front, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Interesting. And there's your intake, which they've moulded really, really well actually. See if you can get this. A bit closer for you. Can you see the mesh of the intakes here? like the nostrils almost, don't they? They've done that really well. Look at that. I was thinking it was see-through, but it's not. It's just very, very smooth back plating with the mesh on it. It looks like it's see-through, but it isn't see-through. That's good. That's really good. It's impressing me. I'm liking it a lot. In fact, I think this might be the best trumpeter kit yet. I think it might be even better than the Stuka that I've seen. Anyway, let's have a look at the next one. And this is a sprue with all the bits and pieces on it, like your exhausts. What engine was in this? Wasn't a Merlin, was it? Maybe it was. Was it a Griffin? Griffin, no, it wouldn't be a Griffin, would it? It's too early. Anyway, nice spinner. Got your radar antennas here. Very, very clean parts as well. Absolutely no flash. Nothing like the Bear I was just moaning about. Really clean. Beautifully moulded. Very sharp, very crisp. Superb. It's strange the way they've left this huge gap in the sprue design, isn't it? They could have utilised that better, but anyway. Not a problem. And then we've got the elevators at the back and the rudder here, elevators here, and some of the spar ends on the wing, they'll be exposed of course when the wing's folded. We've got some of that radar equipment that's in the cabin, the cockpit, rear cockpit. You've got some nice wheels. Split the wheels, which is unfortunate, but a lot of them still do it, don't they? It's very nice. Nothing wrong with that at all. Again, flawless, no flash, no sprue, bowing or anything like that, anything nasty. And then finally, a ruddy great torpedo. Look at the size of that. That's a monster, isn't it? Jeez. I think they're £250, these bombs, I suspect. Almost like a bomblet, aren't they, the shape of them? We've got the sway braces here. Those are nice, aren't they? Look at those. Very finely done. Yeah, and all your little pylons. Got the tail wheel here. And the torpedo propeller. Look, isn't that cool? Is it twin propellers then? Looks like it might be twin propellers. Cool. And the rear fin for the torpedo there, look. It's a cracking kit actually, it really is. Oh, and there's your back stabiliser fins for the torpedo. Almost like wings, aren't they, really? Almost like wings. Well, that is blinking impressive actually. It's very, very sharp and crisp. It's almost like an ICM kit, isn't it? It's got that same feel to me. How could it be? Wow. But you know what I mean? It's this is much more like it from Trumpeter, you know. Now I will say this about them as well, which I'm not an expert in this area, but I will tell you what people have mentioned. They do have a habit of getting inaccuracy in the shaping, the riveting, and some of the fine stuff. I'm not an expert, as I say, so I'm not one to comment on that. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but based on my inbox review, I think it's an absolute cracker, to be honest. Absolute cracker. It's got nice clear parts. Exceeded expectations. I thought it might be an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's going to do better than that. I thought those instructions were a bit lazy on the colour call-outs, only mentioning a couple of items and giving you no detail about some of the finer stuff and the detail parts. Useless. So they're going to lose half a point for that, I think. And it's such a stupid thing to lose half a point over. You know, why can't they just be sensible about it, you know? I did think at the beginning that they'd learned the lesson, but they've only half learned it. So, oops. I am going to give that, predictably perhaps, get the box back. Made in China. They're in Macau, aren't they? So it's kind of almost Hong Kong Chinese almost. 9.5 out of 10. I think it would have been a 10 out of 10 if it were for the silliness of those instructions, where you know, you don't just go mentioning the big parts and say that's ocean grey, whatever it was, and then you don't mention all the small stuff, all the instruments and the controls, and it's stupid really. There's no guide to that at all. I think it's almost there though. I think the plastic is wonderful. 9.5 out of 10 from me. Do you agree with that? I think that's fair. Well done to Neil. 10 out of 10 for you for supplying what is basically a really nice kit actually. Yeah, quite enamored with it actually. I think that, yeah, it's one of those that you think, oh, a bit like the Hamden on from ICM. You think, oh, I want to build that. I want to build that. Yeah, and it's an interesting subject, isn't it? It's all a lot of action, you know. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again in the very near future. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up. Become a member if you'd like to join our happy band of members. You may have seen there was the recent members gallery on display, which was amazing this month. It just seems to get better and better. And don't forget to give us a like and give us a thumbs up. Until next time then, thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Stay well, stay safe. Thanks a lot, and bye for now.